welcome back. In this series, I solve LeetCode problems. So, if you love LeetCode and want to improve your DSLGO skills, you may follow what I do here as I try to upload more than 2 videos every day. Today is day number 2, as you may know if you are following me along. So, let's jump right in. So, I have tried to keep it as simple as possible in the beginning because I am also considering myself as a beginner lead coder. So this is the second problem of today. The problem says the title is remove element. So let's read the problem statement. It says given an array nums and a value val, remove all instances of that value in place and return the new length. Okay, so as you can see in this function, you have to return the length. It is an integer, so obviously you cannot return an array, but you have to return the length after removing what you are told to. So consider this example where the array is 3 2 2 3 and what you have to remove is 3. So what you output is 2 and you modify the array in such a way that the first 2 elements in that array is 2 2. So after removing it should become 2 2, right? So in that way. So let's go with an example and see. So suppose 0 1 2 3 4 5 3 4. This is your array. Let's take a small example first. Let's say this is your array. Okay, and what you want to remove, what you are told to remove, that val is say 3. Okay, so what your output should be something like 2 4 5 4. Okay, I mean this should be the first 4 integers in your array and it should follow with 3 3, but what you output is 4. So the system only considers the first 4 integers in your array, so it passes the test case. So that's it. So let's see how we can do that. Okay, again I think we can we can actually follow the 2-pointer approach that I am talking about I have been talking about in the previous 2 problems. 2-pointer. Okay, so let's see how it is. Like you have I and J, these 2 counters, both have different jobs. That is usually the case in 2 pointers. So in our case, what does I do? I actually tries to find the next occurrence of the val in the array. Okay, so I will try to find I will try to find these 3 and J will try to find such an element that is not equals to this val and it is at the end of this array. So we will start I from here and say I from here and J from here. Okay, I will try to find the occurrence of this number val, the target value that we have to remove, and J will try to find such an integer which is not equal to that val. Okay, so let's see this in action. So first we begin I from here. This is your I and say this is your J. This is J and this is I. So what happens is we run an infinite loop. Okay, this is loop 1, say, and inside that loop we run another loop to find the next occurrence of this element val. Okay, so we say while nums I not equals to val, we increment the I, so I ultimately comes over here. Okay. And at the same time, after that, this one is for I, and next we do the same thing for j, but in j we say when nums j, that jth element is equals to that is this sign, I hope you know that. So equals to this value, we have to decrement j. Okay, so here you can see that this value is not does not equal to 3, so we do not decrement j. Okay, so j stays over here there, and next we check whether j is less than I. So we want to prevent such a situation when j is in this portion and I is in this portion, so j is less than I. In this type of situation we want to stop the whole loop. Okay, so that condition goes there. If it happens, then we want to break out of this loop 1, and next what we do, next we want to exchange the value of I and j. Exchange ith and jth element. Okay, so here this is your I and this is your j. So these two conditions, these two steps are over. Then we have to check the conditions, so that that if j is less than I or not, but in this case j is greater than I, so this step is also done. So next we have to exchange. So what we do is we move 3 over here and 4 over here. Okay, then we again go back to loop 1 and try to find the next occurrence of this val. Sorry, so I goes all the way up to here. So right now I is here. Then we so this step is over. So then we say do the same thing repeat the same thing for j. So as j is equals to val, then it will decrement. Here also j is equals to that target, that val, so it will again decrement and go over here. Then it will come out of this jth loop, I mean the loop that is responsible to manipulate the data of j, and then it will check the condition of condition of I and j. So j is right now over here. Let me remove all the other instances. So here we can see that j is actually less than I, so it will break out of this first loop, and you will simply return I. Okay, why? Because I is holding the last occurrence of this val. So technically we should return this thing up to this now. So we could return I minus 1, but why don't you do that? Because it is zero based indexing, so I is already 1 less than what it should be. Okay, so that's the whole point. So I think you have understood this, but let's go over another example real quick this time. So it is again, say this thing 2 yes 3 2 2 3. Okay, so we begin our journey of I from here. Let's see, let's give I this red and say blue j. Okay, so this is the red one is I, the blue one, green one is j. So the first step is we have to find the first occurrence of this val, and again the val is 3. Okay, so I will try to find the occurrence of 3. So it has already found, so it will stay over here, but j will try to find a value which is not equals to 3. So j moves over here. Okay, so j is here, j is now over here, and I is here. Then it simply does what? Exchange. So 2 and 3 gets exchanged. So 2 comes over here and 3 goes over here. So after that we can see that I is not holding the value of val. That means in ith index there is not 3. So I will just go over here and check whether it is 3 or not. It is not 3, so it will go over here and it will see that yes, we have found a 3. Okay, so and in j, and in case of j, it will try to find an element which is not equals to 3. So it will move from here to here, and it will see that it is not equal to 3. So it will stop over here, right here. Okay, so then it will check this condition, this condition, that whether j is less than or equals to I. Okay, so right now j is here in this green position. Let me show you. J is over here and I is over here. So simply put, they have crossed each other, so the condition violates and it breaks out of the loop. So that is our picture. So now let's see this whole thing in code. This is the base part, right? Yeah, I know. Okay, so as we told that first we need to do what? Instantiate our 2 pointers. So I is beginning from 0 and j will start from the last index. So what will be the last index? nums.size, but as it is 0 based indexing, so it will be less than 1 less than this value. Okay, now okay, so our loop 1, that is the infinite loop, and inside that loop we have to first check that whether I is holding the value of this val. This is our target which we have to remove. Okay, so for that we have to run a loop while nums i is not equals to val. Then we have to just simply I plus plus. Why? Because this I think you have understood. In case you have not, then let me explain to you that when will this condition violate? When I will be holding this val, then nums I will be equals to val, so then this condition actually violates. Not equals to val, this condition actually violates. Okay, and for j also what we should do is we should put double equals to val, because here our target is to find an element which is not equals to val. Okay, so when this condition violates, j will break out of the loop and will give us that position. Next we have to check whether I and j has crossed each other, has met or not. Okay, so if say j is less than I, then we can just break out of the loop, this loop, and otherwise you cannot, you may not put, okay, you should not put else here, because anyway it is going to run. But if you put an else here, then also I think it will be fine. Okay, no problem. So we have to do the exchange over here. So let's let's set a temporary variable temp nums I, then in nums I it goes the jth element, and in the jth position gets our previously temporary variable. Okay, so exchange is done, everything is set, and lastly we have to just return I. That's it. So let's run. Let's see. Okay, temps, no temp, yeah. Okay, it gives us no error, but I have already run this thing once before, so I will like to hold your attention to some a good test example in which case it will actually fail. Okay, so if say 1 2 3 1 2 3 no 1 2 and 4, so actually 3 is not 3, this thing is not actually present in the array as a whole. So what will happen, you will face an error. Okay, why, I will explain. Runtime error it gives because let's go over here. It says 1 2 and 4, but your target is 3. Okay, so when you first search for I, okay, I instantiates from here, then it moves over here to see if it has found a 3 or not. It has not, so it will jump over here, then it will jump over here. Okay, then this is where it goes out of bound, and it will try to access this memory location where it will face an error. Okay, so this is the example where we find that we must include some limiting condition here. So I must be restricted before the array ends. So another condition that I must be less than nums dot size, and we have to put and over here, so it will run just fine now, I think. Yeah, it does. And another test case that I have come up with, that is if say it has say 3 3 3, okay, again there is an error. Why? Because in case or in this case you see you have 3 3 3 and your target is again 3, so I will just start from here. I will start from here and it will stay here because it has already found a 3, but J, the second pointer, will start from here. It has not found anything other than 3, so it will move over here in search of something else, but it has not found anything other than 3, so it will move over here. It will come here, again it is 3 only, so it will come over here and again go out of bound, and it will try to access this memory location where it is facing a runtime error. Okay, so again you must put another condition over J, that J must be greater than not greater than 0, I think greater than or equals to 0, maybe. Okay, so with that I think we have done it pretty good. It will run. Yeah, as all of them are 3 in the array, so when you remove all the 3s, so you find an empty array. So now let's try to submit it. Here, impressive. No worries, stay tuned for the next video and I will try to make it more interesting from next video onwards. So yeah, stay cool, stay well, goodbye.